Welcome everyone. Today I'm going to discuss about one of the important aspect of communication. Communication is very important for our development. Communication is very important for our effectiveness. So we need to focus that communication in the workplace. What will be the learning outcome from today's sessions? Understand the importance of communication in the workplace, describe the process of communication both in verbal and non-verbal, identify different communication channel and barriers to effective communication. Learning outcome, demonstrate how change in technology have affect communication within and between organization and their employees. Explain how to overcome potential problem in intercultural communications. Overview. Communication is the sharing or exchanging of informations. All individuals, group and organizations communicate by sharing means between each other. Communication is a two-way process as it is also about being understood and belonging to a group. Communication and organization success are directly related. Good communication can have a positive and mobilizing effect on employees. Poor communication can lead to strong negative consequences such as the distortions of goals and objective, conflict, loss of motivation, and poor performance. What is the purpose of communication? People have always needed to communicate to live in social group and to plan and coordinate activity. No group or organization can exist without sharing meaning in some way between its members. When we communicate with others, we are usually trying to influence other people's understanding, behavior, or attitudes. Core to most organization activity is an understanding of the process of communications and how the use of different communication channel can impact on the masses daily words and received. How important it is in the workplace. Mensberg 1990s described the purpose of communication with others in the workplace as being able to inform, instruct, or motivate or seek information. From a top management perspective, the purpose of organizational communication is to achieve coordinate actions. The member of organization will not have a focus if they are not involved in effective communication with one another. How important it is the workplace. Employers expect employee to be effective, communicate, and rate employees for their communicate performance. Communication is a key issue that impact on planning, effectiveness, organizational change, and implementations. It is pivotal to dealing with people and the workplace and is fundamental to organizational success. How does the communication process work? Communication is organization is crucial. It may be deliberate in terms of verbal instruction, an email, or a written report. It may be more casual in terms of chat at lunch. It may be unintentional in terms of body language observed at a meeting. In order to get a message across accurately, the following must be considered: the message, the audience or receiver, how the message is likely to be received. Communication process. In the communication process, they have context, perceptual parties, and perceptual filters. Coding of the message senders, channels, message, noise, feedback, receiver, codings, and development and adapted from the Shannons or Huygens. These are very informative. Interpersonal communications and active listening. Listening has a major impact on job effectiveness and on relationship quality with others. It is used to not only receive the message and obtain the information but to understand it and to learn from it. Active listening is a process of making a consciousness effect to sense, process, respond actively to a communication message. Active listening would require that you sense and receive from message, for example a name in a introduction process, assign a meaning to the informal transmitted, and then respond clarifying what you have heard. Active listening is not only consciously engaged in listening and being encouraging, but it is also required deferring judgment, letting the center complete their point before asking question. Communication channel. The choice of channel to communicate the message is very important in order to achieve understanding. Communication can be formal, informal, or quasi-formal. Formal communication channel. These channels are officially defined pathway that follow the chain of command or hierarchy in organizations. These channel being officials or holding authority are used to send letters, email, policy statement, and announcement. Communication channel, informal communication channel. Some managers use this informal network to facilitate formal communication channel or to gather informations. Management by walking around MBWA can result in better information and communication exchange. Need to facilitate genuine engagement by senior manager rather than looking into an opportunity to check up on employee activities. Takes a number of forms such as an official network that supplements the formal channel and the grapevine and gossip. Communication channel. Question from channel are planned communication connections between holder of various positions within the organization. They are partly formal and add additional channel between the formal and informal channel. Project teams or product committees are often used to help encourage innovations. This approach has been extended by the informal age, which has provided organization with the new opportunities to link manager effectively through email, internet, and other electronic media tools. Communication directions. One may assume that information a flow both upward from the employees and downward from management. This flow of communication in an organization are important, but communication must also be able to move laterally. Downward communication. Communication flow from one level of an organization to a lower level. It is usual to implement plans and goal, explain policy and procedure, offer feedback on performance, and give directions or instruction regarding job specifications and duties. Communication direction, upward communication. Communication flow from a lower level of an organization to a higher level. Provide information to manager about what is happening at an operation level. It is important as it facilitates feedback regarding performance and progress of a plan and goals. It notifies management of the problem or potential problem, and it passes on compliance. Literal communication. Communication flow between member or employees in the same work group or department or managed at the same level serve as important function to facilitate, coordinate, or the work undertake. Model of interpersonal communication. Interpersonal communications is very important, and interpersonal communications can help to grow our ecosystem in an effective way. Oral communication. The main means by which our communicate with one another is through speaking. This can include conversations, good discussions, presentations, word of mouth, video conferencing, and Skype. Written communication. Written communication include letter, email, instant messaging, message, or e-mail and notice. A written communication can be useful to make sure the message is clear and verifiable. Non-verbal communication. Communication achieved by not just using words. It is process of coding or convey meaning through behavior such as facial expression, gestures, and body posture. Besides that, communication is not always perfect. Barriers to effective communication include noise, perceptual filters, selective perception, information overload, language, the sender. The purpose of communication does not fully amount for cultural difference between the senders and receiver other than through perceptual filters. A study reported by McShane's of cultural diversity in some of the Toronto major hotels found that language barriers made it difficult for managers to give non-English speaking employees effective feedback. Some of these language barriers include semantics, difference in meaning of words to different people. Difference is non-verbal symbols and signals. Word connection, word imply different things in different languages. Tone difference. In some cultures, tone challenges depending on context, different in perception, different world views. A key purpose of communication technology is to facilitate effectively communication between individual or a group that are physically distant from each other, as well as provide it via cheaper and more effective means. Technology has enabled new form of working pattern to evolve that include working from home and other locations. The barrier of distance disappears, organization and outsourcing many jobs overseas. Video conferencing has proved very effective in terms of cost savings through cutting down on travels and other costs. Instant message is seen as the key communication tool in the business world and will replace email more and more even time as they are faster and allow for an instant response. The volume of messages that managers as well as employees and customers receive has increased. Due to email always being accessible and not being regulated by business hours, a culture has been recreated where senders expect an instant response. Social media is termed social for a reason as it is enable communication. Given organization direct access to the customer. Campaign have access to your email address, Facebook and Twitter account amongst others, and can utilize your preference to monitor your buying, leisure, lifestyles, habit to target you with specific ads online. So there are many effective things we we can move, we can effectively make an effective things as a tools of communication. Social media has a number of characteristics according to Adler's, Resfold and Proctor's. Message reaches the information or message transfer via social media can utilities text, chat, visual image and links to ensure communication success. Hyper personal communication, the social media environment can create hyper personal relationship where the individual experience a level of closeness above gain in a face-to-face context. Impact of social media on communication. During synonym communication, multiple exchanges are completed in a rapid succession. By contrast, communication such as posting messages limited the process on only small portions of an exchange at any given time. Permanence of digital message. Message can be shortened by the both senders and receiver. Remove an image from a social media account may be able too late, as it is already has transferred beyond the creators and control. In order to mitigate against the downward of social media use, Albert Adler suggests a number of strategies to employees in order to communicate completely. Always be careful of what you post and be considerate of other in you online community. There is a need to balance social media communication with face-to-face time. The internet has become the most powerful driver of innovation world has even seen. New product can be developed and launched. No other mechanism provides such as instant communication link between investors and their circumstances. Summary. If communication scenario is organized, why do messages often fail to communicate effectively? Are there advantages to face-to-face communication in modern organization? What contribution can be component communication strategy? Identify and describe common barrier to effective communications. Do technology advance in communication make easier for members of an organization? You have been asking to address the issue of internal communication in your organization, and it is important to building a culture of transparency between manager and employees. Outline and describe the cause of potential problem in cross-cultural communication. How can non-verbal communication technique be to be used to enhance the delivery of important messages? So these are the basic important aspects of communications. And if we can understand these communications things in an effective way, let's say we can understand how to communicate inside the organization, how we can use internet, how we can use social media, how we can use email, how we can maintain proper relationship in between our communication, how we can build up a real ecosystem in between us, how we can grow our ecosystem, how we can sustain in our ecosystems, how we can go for top to bottom, bottom to top. And these are the very informative and reliable sources of communication. And we need to be very much careful about that. And if we can carefully and understand these things in an effective way, that time we can take many more initiative and which may be very much helpful for us. Thank you everyone. If you have any kind of question, you can ask me and I can give you the answer. Thank you for joining today's sessions. And I really request you, if you have any kind of question, you can communicate with us.